On today's episode of the Bolt Crew podcast, we ask the question, how will the Chargers react after their first loss of the season? Also, which Chargers need to step up, and how are they going to replace Joe Alt?
Hey, yeah, hey, it's the Bolt Crew, and we always winning. Hey, go against us, I don't recommend it. Hey, it's the Bolt Crew, best up in the business. It's the Bolt Crew, repping for the city. Macking on and off the field like Khalil. They hate on us cause we keep it too real. I'm talking smack like Phil Rivers in the field. Oh, you mad again cause we kept it real? Why you mad? Hey, I'm talking smack, I feel like Uncle Dave. Hey, I bring the pain, I feel like Derwin James. I could run and gun, I feel like Herbo down the lane. I feel like LT the way I'm stiff arming these lanes. We just wanna win, we just wanna win, yeah. Ay, we just wanna win, we just wanna win, ay. Putting on for the city, putting on for the city. We just wanna win, we just wanna win, yeah.
Hey everyone, welcome to another look at the cum sat right there. Everyone, welcome to another show of the Bolt Crew podcast. Dave Pele, Josh Pele, Mario Heron. Give a little bit of background. Again, my name is Dave. If you're new to the show, more than 30 years covering the NFL for ESPN, and Josh right here next to me in the square, former Alabama quarterback, also covered the NFL for Sirius and ESPN Radio, and Mario at the bottom of the screen, ESPN Radio in Chicago, covering the NFL as well. But again, we're Chargers show, talking Charger football with you as far as everything that's going on with the Chargers, either past games, getting ready for the next game. A lot of things to talk about. We want you to subscribe and like the show. Today, for example, we started the show 2 o'clock Pacific time. Mario is in Chicago. Josh is a diehard Padre fan. Mario, I think, is more of a Cubs fan, just upset Josh. That's why the hat showed up all of a sudden. That was not there 3 minutes ago. But here's the deal, Mario. You weren't able to do the post-game show with us because you had ESPN Chicago duties on Sunday. And the Chargers end up losing this game 21-18 to a rookie quarterback to the Giants. I want to touch on this game because often when we do a post-game show, we do the shows and emotions are at an all-time high, either coming off of a win or coming off a disappointing loss like we had on Sunday. And there are many times 24 hours later, I feel completely different or go, man, maybe I said some things I shouldn't have said, or maybe my emotions were out of control. And maybe I just wasn't in the right frame of mind to do a post-game show. That's what always makes these shows dangerous for us, and also to me makes them great, that emotions as fans were at an all-time high. I will say this, Mario, Chargers lose that game 21-18 to the New York Giants, a team that hadn't won a game, to a rookie quarterback who had never obviously played a game. And there's nothing I feel now 48 hours later that I feel like I said or felt something that wasn't correct. Everything I said I stand by, and meaning that was a game you shouldn't have lost. That's a game that hurts you. That's a game in the standings. We had a 2-game lead over the Chiefs, is now down to 1, and the Chiefs look like they have figured it out. That I'm as upset today as I was on Sunday, and you didn't get a chance to discuss your feelings on the game but for when you went back and you watched it and everything you know about that game, where are your emotions? Where do you feel is the correct feeling on how we should feel about this Charger team?
Look, I think it was a game that definitely was a step back for Los Angeles Chargers in every single fashion besides O'Marion Hampton. I think that was the one silver lining, is that he was spectacular in the game, and our rookie running back finally found his confidence and played up to the abilities that he can. But besides that, we talked about it. This O-line was a problem last year in the playoffs. It was a worry going into the season, and they were exposed against a very good defensive front in the New York Giants. And it was by far the worst game, I think, of Jim Harbaugh's tenure at the Los Angeles Chargers. The 14 penalties committed is unacceptable. The Chargers lost this game, I think, more than the Giants won this game. Dart taking off and running, it seemed like that was something the Chargers just weren't expecting. Like they just did not, that thought just did not exist in their mind that a rookie QB was going to take off running, especially after his number one option got hurt very early in the game. It was ugly. It was disgusting. And yeah, if you were thinking Super Bowl, if you were thinking that the Chargers can be the number one seed in the AFC and so on, that all took a hit this past week. And now you come back to the feeling of how good is this team really, and how can they respond in week 5? And Josh, it doesn't get easier. We face the Washington Commanders, not with Marcus Mariota, with their starting quarterback that led them to the NFC Championship last year. And it's going to be even a bigger challenge. It's going to be a lot of things that are going to be harder to ask of a lot of very inexperienced and not very good alignment.
Yeah, I'm concerned about the Commanders' offense, but I'm really concerned about the Chargers' offense. The blocking for the Chargers has been atrocious in the last 2 games, and it's probably going to get worse with Joe Alt not on the field. The Chargers right now need to figure out a plan to protect Justin Herbert. We're going to talk about this over and over again because Joe Ortiz made the decision that he wasn't going to grab anybody else besides Mekhi Becton in the offseason, which I like that pickup. I still like that pickup. Mekhi Becton is good for this team, but he didn't address it in the draft. I was looking at the Eagles draft because the Eagles have a very good offensive line. I also looked at the Lions draft because the Lions have a great offensive line. Do you know, even though they had very good offensive lines last season, they still took offensive linemen in this year's draft? You need to take offensive linemen, it seems like, in every single draft to just replenish the offensive line, to get some depth. This Chargers team and Chargers teams of the past have done this many times. They'll have a starting 5 of offensive linemen where you say, okay, maybe that can get it done. Obviously, going into this season, we weren't very happy with our interior offensive linemen because we knew what they did last year. They get hurt. Now you have Joe Ortiz, Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater that go down. Nobody can predict that. But the 2 guys you rely on go down, and now you're stuck with the holes that we had last year. So now basically you have 4 holes on the offensive line with Mekhi Becton, a guy that's injury prone. I think Joe Ortiz might be overmatched when it comes to addressing the offensive line or just trying to find depth for this team. I'm very confused in the direction they're going. They made a move today, bring in Michael Dunn from the 40. He was on the 49ers last year. And I told Mario I'm going to try something today. I'm going to try to share my screen, see if this works. We're trying this together, guys. Okay, here we go. Try the whole screen, guys, right here. God dang it, I can't do it. Anyways, Michael Dunn basically was one of the worst players in the NFL last season. He was ranked as 134th best guard in the NFL. That's pretty bad, right, Mario? If you're the 134th at your position. That's who the Chargers brought in today to help with this offensive line. I'm very frustrated as a fan that Joe Ortiz doesn't go out there and make a trade for maybe a guy like Cam Robinson, who just got traded from the Texans to the Browns. Are you aware that Cam Robinson has not allowed a sack this season? The Chargers can't stop allowing sacks on Justin Herbert. Pause. But seriously, there's guys out there that can help this team. Why not go out there and get them with difference makers, not guys like Michael Dunn, who are one of the worst players of their position?
Yeah, not a good sign when he spells his last name D-O-N-E. I mean, that's bad when it's on the back of your jersey that way, and then you're giving up sacks. Look, I'm sorry, but the Chargers are taking shortcuts, and that's where things have gone wrong. I mean, look, Joe Ortiz, we know he loves his draft picks. So, look, if you don't want to use your draft picks and you're that guy, then go ahead and use your free agent money. You had so much money to spend. It was one of these things we talked about a long time ago. It's like we talked about it for a year. The Chargers had so much money. How many teams were in their situation where they actually had money to spend during the free agent period? Nobody's in the situation the Chargers were in. The only team even close was the Patriots. And the Patriots went out and spent money. Yet you look at the situation and what the Chargers are doing, they have no one to blame but themselves. Joe Ortiz right now has put, to me, the Chargers in a terrible situation. You don't want to trade your draft picks, yet you don't want to spend money. Well, what the hell? Look, here are the keys to the castle. The Spanish family has given everything to Jim Harbaugh and Joe Ortiz to fix this. It doesn't seem to make sense. Like, look, man, it's the old saying with a chef. Hey, man, these are the ingredients. What do you want me to do? Jim Harbaugh is a fantastic coach, and I do think Joe Ortiz is a great talent evaluator. Look, the cabin was bare when they took this job. And to sit there and have the holes that they have now and to be exposed they were against a really below average team in the Giants, look, with the injuries they have, things are not going to get better. You just lost your 2 best offensive linemen for a long time. We lost Slater for the whole year, and all could be gone for as long as 6 weeks. These high ankle sprains are no joke. So what happens? How do you protect the franchise and Justin Herbert? Because if he's the next guy to get hurt, then we'd sit there and just scratch our head and say, man, we are all pointing our finger right at you, Joe Ortiz. You put this team in a terrible situation. And even if you make a trade and you're willing to give up draft picks, it's only one position. It's only one position that you fixed. There are more positions that need to be fixed if you want to actually consider yourself a real contender to get to the Super Bowl.
And this is a QB, guys, has dealt with injuries. 3 different ones last year. The year before that, he misses half the season. On the year before that, he misses a couple of games too as well. This is a guy that, look, there's a lot of times where he's gone out and missed some time. And he's on pace to get hit 140 times this season. If that continues, that will set a record for most pressured. I'm sorry. Right now, the way he's getting pressured, if this continues, he'd be the most pressured quarterback on dropbacks. I can talk, I promise, in NFL history. The only two QBs have been hit more than Justin Herbert this year is Joe Flacco and Cam Ward. That is not a good statement right there. That's not who you want to be with. So it's not looking good. And if Herbert gets hurt, like you said, everything's falling apart. We're relying on Trey Lance then to bring us to the promised land. And I don't know if we can do that. It's bad, Josh. And this is also an organization and a regime that's prided themselves on winning the battle in the trenches. Trenches. Well, where is that right now?
Nowhere to be found, and I feel lied to as a fan, and I don't think I'm being crazy when I say I'm upset, because I really do feel like I was lied to like a friend, and maybe I'm an idiot for believing Joe Ortiz or Jim Harbaugh is my friend, but when Jim Harbaugh tells you all offseason, we look at offensive linemen as weapons, like butter knife weapons. What kind of weapons are you talking about? Because it seemed like the Giants were going into this war with some guns, and we we're going into this battle with some like butter knives. Like I said, it was insane. We had no hope whatsoever of protecting Justin Herbert in that game. We also have no hope of protecting him against the Commanders with what we have today. Why not put in a guy like Andre James for Bradley Bozeman? Bradley Bozeman is ranked as the worst center in the NFL right now, 46 out of 46. Why not make a change? What do you have to lose? If Andre James is just as bad as Bradley Bozeman, then so be it. But why not give him an opportunity? You brought him in the offseason, Joe Ortiz, to hopefully play a little bit. This is the opportunity for him to show what he has.
Look, I think there's an opportunity for these guys to upgrade their roster. And the first thing you do is, if you're, to me, a GM, and I've never held a position, obviously, is I'm looking at the teams that are off to terrible starts. And I'm going, okay, these teams that are off to 0-4 starts, their seasons are over. These are not playoff teams. These are teams that need multiple draft picks to basically shake things up and give the fans a chance for the future. I'm going to give you two guys. One guy's 28, one guy's 27. All right. And they aren't on the offensive side of the ball, but boy, they are extremely talented, because right now, really, our defensive line is, as much as those guys are working their asses off to get to that quarterback, we need more pressure. Every team needs more pressure on the other team's quarterback. Okay. 27-year-old New York Jet, Quinnen Williams, one of the best defensive linemen in the league. All right. 27 years old. The Jets are going nowhere with him, yet there he is. At the same time, a 28-year-old Jeffrey Simmons for the Tennessee Titans. We've mentioned his name now for weeks. The Titans are going nowhere with Simmons, yet he's one of those disruptive forces as well. Both guys, 7-year vets in this league. Both guys are players that the other team has to be concerned about. Look, we like our defensive backfield for the most part, but man, those guys have to work like you wouldn't believe, to put pressure on the quarterback. If you aren't doing that, those guys are basically have to stick with the receivers that much longer. The Chargers have to do something. I see in the comments someone mentioned Bud Dupree. Look, Bud Dupree is not close to the player he used to be, or he ever was, and he's never coming back. All right. Bud Dupree is just a guy taking up a roster spot. He's a guy that's sitting on the front end of your car on a Friday night, drinking beers and talking about how great he used to be. He's not the kind of player that can help this Charger team win. And unfortunately, when Khalil Mack went down, and we knew Khalil Mack at 34 years old was getting up there and saying, how much pressure are you going to put on the quarterbacks? If you couldn't shake up a rookie quarterback, what are you going to do when you face the better quarterbacks in this league? And I mean better quarterbacks, meaning the guys that are supposed to be the guys that can play in Super Bowls, the Josh Allens that are supposed to be there at the end. I don't know what happened to Lamar Jackson, but Lamar Jackson's elite guy. Jaden Daniels, who we're going to see probably this week, is an elite player. Patrick Mahomes, elite player. They will face elite quarterbacks throughout the season. The Chargers have to do stuff on both sides of the line to fix things. The thing is, you aren't going to trade your entire draft to fix all the holes you have for this year. But at the same time, this team right now is headed for a big disappointment when you look at the teams that are on the schedule that are considered competitive playoff teams.
Yeah, we got the Commanders coming up. We got the Colts coming up. We have the Vikings coming up. None of these teams are teams you're just going to roll over. It's going to be tough. I agree. I think Jeffrey Simmons is a good call. Bradley Chubb, we discussed it before. Quinnen Williams. Anybody on a really bad team. There's about 7-8 teams in the NFL right now that are just absolutely terrible while we look at some of those teams. But honestly, Dave, I feel like we're talking into the wind at this point, because Joe Ortiz just does not make trades. He's just not that guy that's going to make a trade for a player. It's very frustrating that you feel like you might be giving up on the season if Justin Herbert gets hurt, because if he does get hurt, Mario, like you said, Trey Lance is not the answer. Trey Lance is a backup quarterback. Trey Lance could be on any team in the history of the NFL that's stacked with the best players. They're probably not going to win the Super Bowl. It's just not going to happen. I'm very frustrated right now that Joe Ortiz seems to sit on his hands or bring in free agents that aren't difference makers. How many players on this Chargers team are actual difference makers? I think there's two, right? You have Derwin James, who's the best defense player in the NFL, and you have Justin Herbert. Those are two all-pro level players on this team. There's a bunch of other guys that are good players, but those are two great players. If you take away one of them on your offensive side of the ball and Justin Herbert, zero chance of winning.
And, we talked about how the Ravens possibly missed a window when McDonald was in DC and they had the number one defense in the NFL. Lamar was popping. If Chargers don't figure this out, they could miss a massive year to take that extra step to win the AFC. You have the Chiefs that don't look like the Chiefs anymore. The Ravens don't look like themselves. Bills look good, but boy, is there a lot of weaknesses in that team. Like Josh Allen clearly has to be Superman for this team to win. There's no stud. What, the Colts are your stud? So you're going to take your chances versus Daniel Jones in the playoffs? Awesome. I would. There's no one that is clearly the best team. And if they can't figure this out, Dave, I think Harbaugh would look back in 10 years and 5 years, maybe even 3 years and go, damn, 2025 was the chance, was the shot. And we just completely missed it. And as soon as you miss it in the NFL, just talk to Dan Marino. It never comes back. It's not a wide time.
No, I mean, here's the deal. I mean, as great as Jim has been as a coach, wherever he's been, he's never won a Super Bowl. It's the one thing that's missing from his resume, right? Deal is, I don't know what goes through Jim's head because he has a 5-year contract. I imagine every year is important for Jim to win. There are no guarantees that on year 5, the year you finally put it together and you get your extension. I have no idea what goes through his mind. I know as Charger fans, we're all desperate. And when you have cakewalk games on your schedule like you did this past week against the Giants, it's unacceptable. And the more I look at this past game and how frustrating it was, and I can point the finger all over the place. I mean, it's weird. You sit there, I can point to 10 different guys, including Jesse Minter, as we said on Sunday's show. What happened? How were you not prepared for Jackson Dart? If you watch any of his games at Ole Miss, that's exactly what he did. And at the same time, every quarterback in this league, when they're rookies and they talk about the speed of the game in the NFL, they all panic and start to run. That's what they do. They run, and they weren't prepared for Jackson Dart. Very frustrating. Look, people in the chat are mentioning it over and over again, and they're 100% right. The wide receivers didn't come to play. Ladd McConkey is supposed to be the most surest guy going, had just a terrible game. The receivers were awful. And overall, outside of Marion Hampton and Derwin James, I didn't think there was anyone that could get on that plane, Mario, as I mentioned on Sunday, that could walk on where their head held high.
Thule, 4 seconds.
Thule had a ridiculous game. Absolutely. Unfortunately, when you lose, nobody thinks about, anything except the final score and the fact that you lost to a team that hadn't won a game to a rookie quarterback. Completely embarrassing. You're right. I don't want to take anything away from Thule. Thule had a coming out game for people who didn't realize who Thule was. Look, the team returns to the practice field tomorrow as they get ready for the Commanders. And I hope it's one of those where, remember when CeeDee Lamb had that terrible game against the Eagles and he heard CeeDee Lamb went straight to the facility? It was one of those where I hope the Charger players that came up short kind of went straight to the facility, especially those receivers of what happened and who are you? Because we didn't recognize those guys.
It was uncharacteristic to see Ladd drop passes. Hopefully that's the last time this season that we see Ladd drop back-to-back passes like that. And then he trips over his own player, and then there's an intercept. The whole thing was just bad on Ladd's behalf. I thought QJ wasn't bad. I thought QJ actually played pretty good. The drop at the end was frustrating, but overall, I think QJ played a pretty good game. QJ is our best receiver on this team. I know, Dave, you're not the biggest fan of him still. I mean, he is the best receiver. Ladd McConkey is the 3rd best receiver on this team. And then there's a huge gap. And then there's probably Aronde Gadsden as our 4th best pass catcher. Is Trey Harris going to get some run? Is Trey Harris ever going to play? Trey Harris is your 2nd-round pick. Ladd McConkey was our 2nd-round pick last year. Let's get him involved in this game plan. Scott Madlock, somebody said on the side here, needs to see another target. I agree. That's never going to work out for this team. Tucker Fisk should never see another target. Hopefully Will Disley comes back, adds some blocking help. But honestly, the receivers to me have been better than expected. But last game, I think Ladd not playing well really just hurt this team because it looked like Justin Herbert wasn't looking at him the rest of the game.
He wasn't. And, Ladd's been, last year he kind of had a slow start. So maybe that is the case this year. And we'll see if that improves. And there's also, it was the one-on-one deep ball that he had and he dropped it. And I know it was great corner play. What are you going to do about it? What you can do about it is beat your man one-on-one. What you can do about it is attack the football. That's what you can do and have strong hands carry down with it. Yeah, it's hard, but that's the sport. That's being a receiver one. It is hard if you get the best of the best every single time. Ladd still has not found the end zone this year. That's pretty shocking. If you would have told me that Quinn Johnson would have a touchdown every game and Ladd wouldn't have one in June, I would say whatever you're smoking, let me try it because apparently it seems really strong. So look, I think this game could also be, though, guys, it could just be the wake-up call. Chiefs had that, 2 years ago when suddenly the Raiders just stopped them with Antonio Pierce. You're like, wait, what the hell happened? And I think it was not Minshew. I think it was Aiden O'Connor. That was the quarterback, the AOC from Purdue. So maybe it's just that. It's just the Any Given Sunday thing just came out and, they got him. Tough matchup. And they bounced back big against Commanders. Because the bright side to the Commanders, Dave, is this secondary for Washington's piss poor.
Yeah, look, it's an old team. I mean, obviously, if you get Jane Daniels back, that he's a guy that can hurt you, right? One of the best, most talented quarterbacks in this league. Look, this game's a home game for the Chargers. Chargers need to rebound. They need to win this game. I know we're going to break it down in extreme detail coming up. And of course, on Thursday's show, we'll even give you more stuff. But, guys, I can't say how important this game is, and it shouldn't have to be that way. Like, there's always a game you lose, and you say, look, that was a good team. And you can make excuses to yourself on why you lost that game. I hate to say it, to compare what the Chiefs do of turning it on and turning it off, two different things. I mean, the Chiefs have been to so many Super Bowls and played so many extra big games. The Chargers aren't in the same category as what the Chiefs' resume is. It just hasn't been the same for years since this franchise started. This is what the Chargers have done. The Chargers have lost games throughout their history to teams they should have never lost to. I can go all the way back to way before 1979, Mario, in the playoffs. In San Diego, taking on the Houston Oilers, no Earl Campbell, no starting quarterback in Dan Pastorini, and they get shut out. And they lose like 14-0 in the playoffs. And you go, how the hell does that happen? Well, how the hell did they lose to Jacksonville when they were up at 28-0? How do they lose to the Texans in the playoffs?
We don't have to do this. We don't have to do this.
I'm just saying, this is what you are. The mirror doesn't lie. And unfortunately, the mirror is staring you right in the face and saying, this is what you guys are. We talk about culture all the time of turning this thing around. Well, damn, Jim, I put a lot of this on you. How does this possibly happen? How do you look at your coaches? Because Jim never tells you the truth publicly. But how do you not call your coaches out and say, how are we not prepared? Jesse Minter has done a fantastic job since he's gotten here. Sunday was his worst day.
Sunday was his worst day. I agree with everything you said about them not being prepared for Jackson Dart. It was very disappointing to see what the game plan was. Also, Justin Herbert in the offense didn't help him out by putting the Giants within, 5 yards from scoring twice on interceptions. That doesn't help as well. I'm going to try to do the share screen one more time. Probably going to screw this up. But I saw something today that made me sick to my stomach. And here it is. So PFF, the average score is 60. Okay. So if you get a 60 grade, that's average. This is pass blocking grades from Sunday. So Joe Alt, 83.5. That's what we expect out of Joe Alt, right? One of the best players in the NFL, one of the best tackles, in the NFL. 0 sacks, 0 pressures. Then you have Zion, 48.7, below average, 0 sacks, a pressure allowed. Bradley Bozeman, 24.6. That is really, really, really bad. 0 sacks, 4 pressures allowed. Jamari Sawyer, 29.8, equally terrible. 1 sack, 5 pressures allowed. Trey Pipkins, right at average, 3 pressures allowed. And this one is crazy. Austin Deculus, the left tackle that filled in for Joe Alt, 22.4, 0 sacks, 6 pressures allowed. So you have 3 guys in the 20s blocking for Justin Herbert. Dude, that has to be one of the worst offensive line plays this year by any offensive line in the NFL. That is crazy. That is just absolutely crazy. If we get that going forward, Mario, we're not gonna win many games. Like blocking the 20s is just unheard of in the NFL.
Unheard of. And sometimes a lot of those plays too, Josh, correct me if I'm wrong, it's effort. It's just simply effort, right? It's just on this play, do you really want it more? How long are you really going to push it? Are you going to go until the whistle goes? And clearly that's not happening with these guys. And you're not going to protect your quarterback, the guy that's winning every single game for you. Like, figure it out. And we've crapped on this guy nonstop for the past, 3 years. But Trey Pipkins, when the hell are you going to step up? Like, when is he going to figure it out and play better? 9 pressures against Denver, too. 9.
Jeez.
And we're at this point where our 2 best tackles are out. Someone has to lead this. And we have Bozeman, that's supposed to be the leader, he's got a C on his chest, and he's at center, and that's a guy that's supposed to make sure O-line's on the, the best of the best, and he's the last of the centers right now, then that's what we're relying on. It's the blind leading the blind, Dave.
Look, man, if I owned an NFL team, honest to God, I would get rid of direct deposit. I'd make you walk right in and take your check every week. I want you to look me in the eye when you take this check, because you better be wearing a ski mask, this entire offensive line, because you guys are all stealing money. And that's the way it is, man. It's embarrassing as hell. Some of you guys, I don't even understand why you even tie your shoes. It's embarrassing. Why even buckle up your shoulder pads? It's insane. And at the same time, as frustrating as I am looking at that list that Josh just put on the screen, I don't even blame the players as much as I blame Joe and Jim. Jim's telling us all the time how good this offensive line is. It's not. We all know it. We all know it. It's not. Look, it's what they are capable of doing. They aren't capable of anything more. Why would we think they are? This is what they are. This is a terrible offensive line, has been for years. And everyone who keeps writing Becton's name on the side here, dude, look, he's not available. I don't know what to tell you. Until he shows up and plays games on a regular basis, I'm tired of hearing about Becton. I don't want to hear about any of these guys. We say it all the time. The best ability is availability, and this guy's not available. So stop it. People aren't walking into the room right now to fix this thing. This is what we have because the guys who make the decisions told you guys these guys were good, and they aren't. And this is what you get. This is garbage.
Yeah. So looking around the AFC West, we have the Chiefs that are looking a little bit more like the Chiefs with their last two games. You have the Broncos that play a Bengals team, which is absolutely terrible without Joe Burrow, right? One of the worst teams in the NFL, so bad. And then you have the Raiders that just pissed down their legs against the Bears. Like, that was given to the Raiders on a silver platter, and they just said, we don't want to win. We don't want to win today. What do you guys think about the AFC West? What do you think about the Chiefs, Broncos, and Raiders, Mario?
Okay, so I'm not buying this Chiefs stock that's suddenly insanely high right now, and that, they got it all fixed, yada, yada, yada. I think the Ravens were very, very injured this past weekend. I think they have a lot of problems, and Chiefs just really got lucky with it. Easiest bet of my life was betting them to cover, and they did. But I believe it's more of that than the Chiefs finally found the secret sauce, and suddenly it's all coming together. Raiders. Geno Smith is a lot worse than we could have ever even anticipated. He has no idea what team he's playing on. I think it's 7 or 9 picks already this year for the guy. They might be a top 10 pick this year. That's the trajectory that they're on. And if I'm Pete Carroll, I'd honestly be pretty excited. So that means you can get yourself a quarterback and get off this terrible reunion that has gone so poorly. When it comes to the Broncos, I don't buy Bo. I really don't. JK's gonna fall off at one point. Sutton, I know he looks fine, but there's nothing about that offense, Dave, that I'm really feel sold about. Their offense and the Packers offense. I know that's funny enough because that's the two teams I dislike the most. But I swear on my life, there's just two teams I'm not buying stock in, and I don't feel confident their QB can win you a game. And by the way, it's 2 outs left. 2 outs right now, and one more. I believe the Cubs win.
Yeah, we got it.
All right, looking at the division, Josh, is I think honestly it's kind of funny that I think the Chiefs have figured it out that the Chiefs play their best football when they realize Travis Kelce is no longer a threat. And as much as it might be hard to hurt his feelings, they're like, it is what it is. We're in the business of winning football games. And the Chiefs have basically said, Travis, you aren't going to be part of this. You're a second string backup, basically, at that position. We're not going to go out of our way to get you the ball. So the Chiefs look good, man. I don't know what to tell you. The Chiefs look good. They might have figured out because Travis Kelce was a guy that you had to sit there and pat him on the back and tell him everything is going to be okay and get him involved in the game plan. You ignore him and you go out and win games. They scare me. Straight out, they scare me. Raiders, we can throw them away. The Raiders are terrible. The Carlson kick the other day was amazing. That not only was a block, but the fact he took 8 steps before he even kicked it. Like, I don't know. He looked like a third grader playing kickball on the blacktop. I don't even know what the hell that was all about. That was bizarre. But the Broncos, you know what? J.K. Dobbins looks really good. They got a running game. I know they got Harvey and everything to help their running game. J.K. Dobbins was a great signing for them. We know the Bronco defense is better than what we saw the first couple of weeks. And at the same time, the game they played yesterday against the Bengals, what a joke. What a horrible national televised game. Jake Browning, I don't know what happened because a few years ago, he filled in and he looked pretty good. Like someone's going to trade for Jake Browning. Dude, nobody's trading for Jake Browning. Best thing about Jake Browning is his smoking hot girlfriend or wife that decides what outfit she's going to wear to every game, because she is in the side boob business, and I'm buying.
Yeah, so shout out to the NFL for making us watch the Jets and the Dolphins. That was fun, right? You guys probably enjoyed that game. And then Broncos and Bengals. Dude, like that, you were talking about how the Giants weren't good and the Chargers kind of just lost that game. It was like the Broncos just had to tie their shoes, right, to win that game. That was so horrible to watch. I'm not buying the Broncos yet. If the Broncos are on their way up, I haven't seen it yet. Chiefs, 100% agree with Dave. Travis Kelce is a decoy at this point. It's smart by Andy Reid to use him as a decoy. Maybe other teams don't know he's a decoy yet. And then the Raiders, horrible. One of the worst teams in the NFL. They're going to have a top 5 pick, I believe, coming up in the draft. Do you guys have anything else to say about the AFC West, or do you want to get to the comments?
All right, well, real quick. Is it a 3-team league or 2-team league?
3.
Division.
3-team
division, 2-team division.
It's 3.
It's 3.
Yeah. What? Okay, actually, let's do that though. For AFC, how many teams is it really?
That's a great question. I'll be honest with you. I'm not sold on the Steelers. You know, I know the Steelers have a great record. I'm not sold on the Steelers. Aaron Rodgers is ranked as a terrible quarterback still. I'm not sold on the Steelers. I'm sold on the Buffalo Bills. I think the Ravens are never going to recover from this. I know AK loves hearing that. I don't think they're going to recover. It looks like Lamar Jackson is going to miss some time on this whole thing. And I don't think the AFC is that deep. I think the NFC is much, much deeper when you look at the teams that could possibly come out and represent the Super Bowl than the AFC. Right now, if I'm a Bills fan, I'm on cloud 9 going, this is it. We are getting back to lose our 5th Super Bowl. Like we're in really good shape.
This is purely their year. If it doesn't happen now, I really don't know when it's going to.
Yeah.
Oh, no. What just happened? Oh. We can get the comments.
Yeah, so teams I believe in the AFC right now would be the Bills, best team in the AFC right now. Chiefs are going to be in the mix always. Broncos probably going to be in the mix for a good part of the season. Chargers should be there if Joe Alt gets back within 3-4 weeks. Dude, the Colts, I mean, I know they lost to the Rams. They should have won that game. If Mitchell doesn't drop the ball out of the back of the end zone, they probably win that game. Texans, I don't believe in them. Jacksonville is better than expected, but I don't believe in them. And I think the AFC North is frauds, as AK likes to say. I don't believe in the Steelers or the Ravens.
Okay, hey, real quick on the you went through it so fast on that. Dude, Jacksonville, how about Liam Cohen? It's completely screwed up that goddamn press conference. And then all of a sudden, man, went right after Salah, right after the game. I loved both guys talking. It was right up my alley.
Salah would scramble them like eggs, dude.
He would,
oh my God.
When he said, I'll F up your world, he would.
Yeah.
But I loved everything about it. Now, look, Liam Cohen's trash talking, not great. I mean, to use a line that was popular 2 years ago, not that great.
What, keep my name out of your mouth?
Yeah, come on. What are we doing here?
Lame, right?
I mean, that doesn't work real well. But when Salah dropped the I will F up your world, I'm in. Like I'm totally in. But at the same time, the Jags are 3-1. I tip my hat to Liam Cohen.
Liam Cohen has a little bit of Kokomo, Indiana in him, which is what I would like to call a little bit of white trash. You can tell that by his trash talk. Like, oh, you got a little park in you.
Yeah. Dude, I liked it. I can't say I'd run through a wall for him. By the way, speaking of coaches, what the hell was I'll ask Mario this question. You know a lot better than me. What the hell was Dan Lanning on for Oregon the other day?
A lot.
Cocaine.
Right? I mean, dude, I don't know anything
that was not good.
Dude.
He was on something for sure.
It was more than smelling salt. Whatever that was, that was bizarre. That was bizarre.
So that game we were watching with by the way, shout out Bama. I haven't seen it. Great win for Bama. Fantastic.
Yeah, it was great. I was on cloud 9 on Saturday and then got kicked in my nuts on Sunday.
Yeah. Kirby does have a Bama problem.
Yeah,
you think?
Yeah. I mean, you guys could be like 0-64 for 3 years in a row, but your 3 wins will be against Kirby.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Dude, the Ben Johnson thing with the reporter, I'm totally on Ben Johnson's side on that, dude. I'm sorry. As a reporter, you shouldn't be doing that to a head coach. You're just trying to talk about the game. You're not telling him how to run his team. Right? Are you guys on Ben Johnson's side on that one? Right?
And go ahead, Dave.
Okay, no, I'm sorry. Look, as a reporter, that when you do those kind of moves right there, and we all watch silent reporters, a lot of people tell you they're the biggest waste of time anyway. look, you ask a question. What can we expect to see in the second half? You ask a question that just keeps it moving. You don't say you have to stop what you're doing. She honestly should probably be removed from her position. She's not good at her job. And it's not a girl thing. I promise you. It was one of those where it made zero sense on what she said to a head coach of another team. She sounded like a Bears fan that had already downed 6 of them. Just stop what you're doing. Like what? Nothing there was anything to show you to get ready, to get excited why I would tune in. It was really bizarre. I've never seen anything like it.
So I have to listen to like almost all of his press conferences and crap and like that. And you can even watch him on the sidelines. He's a very intense guy, especially in a game. He's very tense. So, like you said, Josh, kind of on his side, he's in the middle of a game. He's very competitive, and he's already like a really hyped up guy. It doesn't take a lot for him to go over the edge. And on the reporter side, if I was her, I'd be pumped.
It's all over the place.
You're all over the place. Like the people that were like, "Oh, I feel so bad for her." I'm like, don't. You know her name now. You didn't know her name yesterday. Like you just made a career. Congrats. She's gonna be there in the Super Bowl probably. You know what I mean? Like you just.
I don't know.
I think you did so much more, and Ben apologized for it. And like she did not take anything wrong by it. Like it was just something that got blown out of proportion. Probably would be worse if they lost, but they won, so who gives 2 Fs?
She came at it as a fan, though, not as a reporter or someone to keep you tuned in for the second half. And he won the game. I mean, it's kind of embarrassing.
Yeah, but she wanted something, and he doesn't give reporters a lot. And so I think she just kept poking. He's like, fine, you're gonna get it. You know what I mean? But again, I really do think it's a win-win for both. Because every Bears fan's like, that's what I want my coach to be. We loved Ditka. Ditka was like that. That's everything Chicago wants. The reporter, everyone knows your name who didn't know your name an hour ago.
Okay.
What's your opinion? What do you guys think on this side? Let us know.
Yeah.
All
Curious to know.
Jose M, $5 says Bozeman is ranked 46 of 46. He needs to take a seat and let Andre James give it a shot. Yeah, 100% agree. You brought in Andre James to fill in. This is the opportunity for him to fill in. All right.
Something.
I have nothing to say. Look, if Andre James could play, he would have been out there. I mean, what are we doing here? What are we talking about? It's like the Jerry Rice Jr. deal. You know what I mean? Come on. If he could play, he'd be out there.
Well, at least give him an opportunity, for God's sakes, right? To see if he can do it or not. What do we have to lose?
A lot. Right. We got a quarterback to lose.
Yeah,
that's actually a very good point. We have a franchise.
Young West $5 says this team will not get far with this offensive line. Same S we seen in the playoffs happen against the Giants. How can you not get offensive line after last year? Yeah, I mean,
Young West, we agree. This show 100% agrees with what you just said.
It's not like we didn't have some money to spend, man. Draft picks to get. If you're not going to play Trey Harris, you got him in the second round. Are you guys aware that one of the best guards in the NFL is Tate Radledge for the Lions? He's a second round draft pick out of Georgia. He was rumored to possibly be drafted by the Chargers. It'd be nice to have him right now. If you're not going to use Trey Harris, why not draft a guy like him? Somebody you can plug in. Nobody is more plug and play than a guard from college. That's the most plug and play position in college sports.
Agree.
It's just a smart organization making smart moves.
AK 1999. Okay. He says,
wow.
I am hot today. And I'm throwing everyone under the bus except my Uncle Dave. Throwing everyone under the bus except my Uncle Dave. We lost bad. We still are the number 2 seed in the AFC and first place in the division. But these fans do not deserve a good team. We need a team like the Panthers. Thanks. What are you upset about, AK? What are you upset about? You think we should be happy after the game? You want to be happy?
AK, personal challenge for you. Every time you type in a comment, throw it in ChatGPT and just say, please fix. And then copy and paste, then submit.
Yeah,
AK, I want you to commit to either all lower cases or all upper cases. Don't mix and match. It makes it very hard on me to read. All right?
Yeah.
Blaze Gaspari, $49.99. Thank you, Blaze. Appreciate it, man. He says,
Shut up, Blaze.
Gonna be effing sick about it until we find a way to win this Sunday convincingly. Went from a Super Bowl contender to a joke overnight in football world.
He's not wrong, man. I mean, we talk about all the good publicity this team got when they went to 3-0. You lost to a team that was 0-3. I mean, you know what I mean? It shouldn't have gone that way. One of the teams he beat was the Chiefs, team that is always in the Super Bowl. He's not wrong on all that. I mean, if this team falls to the Commanders, which they very well could, we'll have to play it out. Should be a great game. Commanders won the NFC Championship game a year ago. This game, though, is a home game for the Chargers. They can't afford to lose this game, fall to 3-2. I'll feel much better about this team going to 4-1. Josh went through the schedule for the Chargers. For the people who aren't aware what's coming up, you have at the Dolphins the following week, another 10 o'clock start if that's a thing. And then all of a sudden you have the Colts. Now look, here's the Dolphins. Is they need to replace Tyreek Hill. We'll get into that game next week, I'm sure. Tyreek Hill's gone for the year, which is great because he's considered a tremendous weapon. The Dolphins are a team that are hanging on. I mean, they beat the goddamn Jets. I mean, are we impressed by that? But man, when you look at the schedule down the line, I don't know what to tell you. Tyreek Hill's injury, by the way, did you guys see it live?
No, I didn't actually.
Yeah.
I barely missed it.
Yeah.
Is it bad?
That's going to hurt his pullout game even more. But anyway, that's kind of where it's at. I mean, I don't think anybody feels bad. Here's the deal with Tyreek. They say at 31 years old, this injury will probably bring him back at 33. You see, will not come back next year. They said the injury is that bad. And there's so many things inside of his body that it's multiple surgeries. I don't know if he ever plays in the NFL again.
Damn. And that's a guy that relies on speed too.
Yeah. Today is the day I could beat Tyreek Hill in a race. Today is the day.
It always sucks to see bad things happen to good people.
Yeah.
AK499 says, I promise this team will not lose another game like that. Promise this team will not lose another game like that. Repeats it twice. This coach Harbaugh team is better. Why do you, I hope you're right, but what makes you believe that, AK, at this point? Joe Alt's out for 3-4 weeks, they said. We need to protect Justin Herbert. What makes you believe they're going to protect him with the same exact guys we had last week?
We're going to find out when they face the Dolphins because that's the closest thing. 10 o'clock in the morning start, a team like that. That's what's going to happen.
AK again says, 499, most likely Ravens pick top 5. Okay, you're getting crazy with this Ravens thing. The Ravens are not going to pick top 5. Ravens are not that bad. He says most likely Ravens pick top 5 or Jags win the South. I'm going Jags for Mario to cry like a 3-year-old baby.
Yeah, because that's really going to affect my day if Jags win the AFC South.
Okay, let me ask you guys. I'm going to help on AK side on this one. The Ravens make the playoffs?
I don't think they do.
I don't think they do either.
But they're not picking top 5.
But they could still. But the AFC is not filled with. I mean, who's going to take their spot? Bengals aren't. Raiders won't.
Would the Ravens make trades with the Chargers?
No.
I don't think so either.
Maybe
Chargers just don't trade. Like, it could be anybody. I don't think
that's true.
Going to trade.
So is there going to be 2 teams from the AFC South that make the playoffs?
A very good chance.
Jags and Colts? Hell yeah.
That's what it's looking like right now.
Yep.
Literally, if the Bills don't win it this year, they're never going to win it.
Dude, there's a chance the Jags could get home field advantage throughout the rest of the playoffs. I mean, that division sucks.
Yeah, for their 10 fans to show up.
Yep.
All right, we're out with the comments. Dave, you got a rant?
Yeah, you know what? And look, this isn't popular, but I'm not in the best of mood, so I don't care about it. Look, here's the deal: is and this might sound ridiculous to some, but it happened to me twice in the same day. Believe it or not. Look, if you're unfortunate enough to have a disability sticker on your license plate, or you got a placard hanging from your mirror, and we all know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the wheelchair in blue. Dude, you go ahead and you take that spot. Okay, you take that spot when you pull into a parking lot. Don't sit there and take a spot that's meant for me, just like that spot's meant for you that I don't take. But when you're going to sit there and pull into a parking lot and leave one wide open and then take the spot that I'm supposed to have, dude, now what's supposed to happen? Twice I had to park so far away in the same day because the guy decided, hey, you know what? There's a spot right here. I'm just going to take this one 5 spots over instead of taking the one that was right in front of the door to the restaurant. What does that mean for me? I had to go to an auxiliary parking lot because this guy didn't park where he's supposed to. Look, if you're going to sit there and take advantage of your little guy in the wheelchair on the blue sticker on your license plate, go ahead and use it, buddy. I'm never going to be that guy that takes the spot I'm not supposed to take. But, dude, you took my spot now. Now you turn the tables on me, okay? And that's it. That's my frustration level. My rant was it happened to me Friday in the same day. It happened to me at lunch, and it happened to me at dinner. Enough already. If you're going to sit there and take advantage of it, You got to use it. If you aren't going to use it, you lose it. That's why I look at it. I don't want to
so
turn you in. I want to call the cops.
So there's a disabled parking lot spot open, and they didn't take it
twice.
Wow.
Twice. Two different
Maybe they're pushing themselves.
I think I don't know. I want to believe in their mind they're thinking, you know what? I'm going to save this one for someone who's going to need it.
Oh.
And this one's not so far from the door. Well, it wasn't. That's why I was supposed to park. But just like the fines, like $800 if you go ahead and take someone's, disabled spot or hand, I don't know what the phrase is. I'm so thrown off. I get yelled at for using the term maid when I get supposed to say housekeeper. I don't even know what I'm supposed to say anymore. But I'll say, because when I grew up, it was handicapped. A handicapped spot, okay, that, look, if you aren't going to take it, you take my spot and you have that sticker on your license plate, you should get the same $800 ticket.
Oh,
how about
I
that?
kind of like
Teach
that
these
take.
people a lesson. I don't like it. You got that Hot Wheels? I'm talking to you. I got nothing left.
Left it all in the field.
Left it all on the field. All right.
I had something for you guys. I wrote down on Saturday, by the way, on like a piece of paper. And I can't
Where's
remember.
that paper now? You watched it?
I did watch it. Yeah. It was nothing. I can't remember what it was. My phone was dead. So I was like, I'm going to write this down. This is funny. And I was like, I just met someone and they went to Penn State and I was talking smack to them because every time a good play would happen, I'm like, that's such a good play. You guys are so not winning this game. Like I was just doing that to them constantly. And they're like, what are you writing down? I can't remember. I said like your social security number or something like that.
Amy writes on the side here, Dave, what if I borrow my mother's car? If you have that spot, that sticker on the car, then you park where your mom would have parked.
Yeah, easily, Amy. What are you talking about?
That's it.
Say less.
And that's what do you want me to tell you?
Yeah.
You got a free ride. Come on.
That's when you really got to use it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, very disappointed. Very disappointed. Anyway, it happened to me twice on Friday.
Sorry,
5 hours apart.
5 hours apart?
Yeah, apart. I had it happen at lunch and happen at dinner. Went to two different restaurants.
What were the restaurants?
One was a barbecue place my buddy owns, and then I'm not going to keep going into this. Doesn't matter. But yeah, it happened to me twice. Yeah, so there you go. I just say I got ripped off twice.
Good for you.
Yeah. And look, I don't know about how it works with pregnant women too. When the women are pregnant, they get to park closer.
Really? Actually, I know that.
No offense, but if you're like 2 months pregnant, do you really need the spot? I mean, come on, let's walk it off, baby. 9 months, 8 months, I'm all for you parking close to the door. 2 months, you probably need the exercise.
Yeah, I'm not a part of this, by the way.
I know my thoughts are my own. Not
this is all Dave.
They don't reflect the rest of the show. Just saying that's when my brain works. Sorry.
Proud of you.
Thursday, normal time.
Mario, it's up to you.
Thursday, normal time, 3 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Pacific. Be there, or you're a nerd.
All right, we're gonna pick games. We'll break down the game in very, very close detail. We already have all the notes ready to go for the Commanders coming to town. Go ahead.
Follow us on Instagram too. Look up Bolt Crew Pod. Like and share all of our posts. We're really trying to grow it. Even if you're like, hey, this take sucks, comment this take sucks. It's good for your algorithm. So please like us on there. Please follow us there. And give us some shout outs every now and then. And thank you guys so much for listening. We greatly appreciate it. We love you all. Even Pepe Le Pipiu. Even you. I have no idea what your photo is, but that is a long you know what if that guy's really naked.
All right, again, from Mario Heron, Josh Pele, I'm Dave Pele. Please like and subscribe. I don't know if today's the day to say that, but we're going to ask you to do it anyway. We'll see you Thursday, 1 o'clock Pacific time. Thanks, everybody.
Hey, yeah, hey, it's the Bolt Crew, and we always winning. Hey, go against us, I don't recommend it. Hey, it's the Bolt Crew, best up in the business. It's the Bolt Crew, repping for the city. Macking on and off the field like Khalil. They hate on us cause we keep it too real. I'm talking smack like Phil Rivers in the field. Oh, you mad again cause we kept it real? Why you mad? Hey, I'm talking smack, I feel like Uncle Dave. Hey, I bring the pain, I feel like Derwin James. I could run and gun, I feel like Herbo down the lane. I feel like LT the way I'm stiff arming these lanes. We just wanna win, yeah. Hey, We just wanna win, we just wanna win, ayy. Putting on for the city, putting on for the city. We just wanna win, we just wanna win, yeah.